afternoon, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Pablo Picasso, a Cubist painter, was one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. He was told that his paintings from his later years looked a lot more vibrant and youthful. To this, he responded with, "It takes a very long time to become young." Indeed, he's referring to the fact that it is so hard to unlearn things in your life and look through the eyes of a child fresh. Children are so spontaneous, enthusiastic, and they're almost always happy. Somehow this seems to fade away as we grow up. I'm taking off from there today. I've been thinking about it, and there are so many things that one can learn from children. And a lot of this is based on my own experience, some of it from reading. So the first thing that children teach us is the importance of simple pleasures. I was visiting my nephew, 3-year-old nephew, a couple of days ago. He's very interesting to watch, especially because I don't understand why he does certain things. A good weekend well spent for most of us would be skiing, camping, hiking, dancing maybe. For him, however, it is by a lake, spending all day at the lake, throwing stones into the water for several hours. Throwing stones into the water for several hours. Can you believe that something so pointless can actually make someone so happy? Well, to think of it, maybe it is not so pointless. I have second thoughts. It reminds me of a second incident from my undergraduate school. I was working on a project with two of my very good friends. The project went well, but what we finally remember after all these years is the smaller things we did together. Riding a bus, sharing food, racing to the office. These are the only things that linger in memory. These pointless things actually mean a lot more now. The second thing that comes to my mind is their abundant curiosity. If we see a chair, we just sit on it. Whereas a kid, a young child, may actually want to view it differently. Perhaps by lying down under the chair, probably crawling under the chair. Give it a pencil. Admiration for the pencil comes from smelling, chewing, or even throwing it around. It is very odd that we often find ourselves without any curiosity. We take everything for granted. Cooking, love, relationships, literature, anything. But for children, as Walt Strateff says, there are no 7 wonders in the eyes of a child, there are 7 million. Indeed. So when I say Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, what's the first thing that could come to your mind? Anyone? Funny? Anything else? Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is his amazing imagination. Consider his transmogrifier. It is a simple cardboard box. However, it can transform any user into any shape. It can also double up as a duplicator and as a time travel machine. Calvin is so imaginative, he can transform his teacher, Miss Wormwood, into a very slimy, dictatorial alien every time he is asked for his missing homework. Something similar. My nephew says hula, hula meaning worm in my language. Hula is talking to me like a baby. When children paint, leaves can be purple, a mountain can take a bus ride, you can sit on a cloud, anything's possible. This ability to transform something so simple into magic is what makes Alice in Wonderland so likable. Walt Disney created magic, and in his kingdom, engineers are appropriately called Imagineers. Here's another thing that kids do really well. If a kid is playing, the kid is just playing. Not thinking about what candy to eat later, not thinking about what game to play tomorrow. I can see a sharp contrast there. When I'm driving, I'm thinking of what to do at work, thinking of what to buy at the grocery store, perhaps even how to relax after I get back from office. This multitasking that is often so admired could be dropped sometimes just to enjoy things around us, without worrying about the future or without past memories. Another thing that stands out in children is their spontaneity. Kids don't plan anything. 1 minute they're sliding down a slide, the second they're chasing a butterfly. You play a song, the kid has never heard it before, doesn't know what to dance to it. Doesn't matter, the kid is going to make up moves along the way. We as adults somehow seem to be overly critical, worry too much about how we're going to look, how funny it may be, And what is the end result of all this? We could give it a break and maybe enjoy in being spontaneous, even foolish sometimes. I know it is not possible to do it all the time, but I guess it's a way of enjoying life. And since my green card has gone up, I've forgotten how many points I have brought up today. However, I will stop because it is time. I would like to leave everyone with this great quote by my favorite character, Calvin. Wow, look at these green stains on my skin. I say if your knees aren't green by the end of the day, you ought to seriously re-examine your life.